Professor B. Koteswara Naik currently works at Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai, IIM Mumbai. He has over 80 plus research papers presented and published in various national and international conferences and journals, and 4 patents filed. He has drafted intellectual property rights, IPR's policy for NIT Trichy and IIM Mumbai. Without further ado, let's dive into the discussion and explore new dimensions of knowledge and collaboration.
Ms. Manisha Srivastava, please come on the dais. Founder and CEO, Prep Minds, and Dr. Sivanand, Principal, DPS STS School, Dhaka. Please give a round of applause to Dr. Sivanand. Dr. Srinivasan, Indian School from Oman. Mr. Srivalsan Morgan, Principal and CEO, our own English High School, Sharjah Boys from UAE. Welcome, sir. Last but not least, Dr. Vimal Basu, Professor, SRM University. I would like to thank SRM University for organizing such a wonderful event here and giving me the opportunity to moderate this panel. The topic given to us was the significance of intellectual disclosure and, the significance of intercultural disclosure and harmony in the realm of education. So I have got a diverse people from different geography here, and definitely we will do our best to bring the good output out of this discussion. As the earlier panelists were telling about how the education should be, and people were talking about passion should be the prime thing in taking any profession, and students should not be forced to take up a particular direction, because we have seen in IIT system also, I have seen in IIT many parents, including myself, we all are interested more towards forcing our kids to have a IIT or otherwise NEET or IIT JEE. But if you see the stat, the people who are in the front line, if you see, there was a research done by Harvard Business School, Harvard University, one of these schools. The people who sits in the front row of a class have become scientists. People who followed by the front rows have become managers. People who sat behind these people, maybe you can say in the third row, they have become entrepreneurs. People who sit in the last row, they visit like invigilators, or they'll just come and see how the class is going on. Otherwise, they will be most of the time they will be roaming around the campus. They have become leaders. We call them politicians here. And there is another group which the study was missed, that is very prevalent in our Indian context. That is, they generally don't go for school, or they will be drop out at the school level. They become babas, right? So, friends, don't force your kids for something which they are not interested in. Don't make them as a pressure cooker, right? So, without delaying, because we are running short of time, already half an hour behind the schedule, we will try to make up here. So, I request my friends here. No, I have. So, we also got a gender diversity, luckily. So, we'll start with Madam Manisha ji. So, please introduce yourself, and you can just share your experience, how you are doing or your school is doing in terms of the intercultural harmony in your education.
A very warm Evening to you all. I know you are probably might be after the lunch, you all might be feeling quite lazy, but then definitely we will try not to bore you, but to keep you engaging. So, coming to my intro, my name is Manisha Shirvasto. I am the founder of Prep Minds, which is a study abroad edtech company. We train the students for GRE, GMAT, SAT, and all the study abroad tests. Personally, I have mentored more than 10,000 students for GRE, GMAT, and SAT. And many of my students, they are placed in ISB, IMs, and NUS, and to name few. Uh, Maybe I might be having a lot of roles now, but still I love teaching. The moment I get into the classroom, I'm back with the energy. So I'm a passionate teacher by heart. So that's all about me. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Hi, very good afternoon to you all. Thank you so much for that start. The way you started, it reminded me of some of my old memories where I studied the school, the bank benches, front benches, and where they are today. Uh, kind of all those. Everybody has such nostalgic moments. So coming back to about my background, I'm one of the faculty members from Department of Management Studies, SRM University here, and my academic teaching and research is in the intersecting areas of organizational behavior and entrepreneurship. So I look at the behavioral aspects of how an employee, be it an employee or an entrepreneur or anyone who wants to excel, who wants to perform, who wants to succeed in life or in career or in any attempt, what are those behavioral aspects or attributes that contribute, which enables the person to excel, to succeed, to sustain in whatever the goal is targeted. So my focus is towards business, where different industries are there. So I've been into something which is called business negotiation. Now business negotiation is everywhere applicable. Any conversation, any interaction that we are making, we are basically negotiating in some or the other way through our exchange of ideas, thoughts, feelings, or doing some exchanging some trade expectations or goals. So somewhere or the other we are always in the give and take practice. So how that should be optimally utilized in terms of a skill, as a negotiation skill. So I have recently international textbook got published in January 2023, along with a very eminent international professor of entrepreneurship and myself. So this book is on negotiation for entrepreneurship. So I talk about how this role of negotiation at each phase of entrepreneurial journey, how it enables a person or an entrepreneur to optimally gain value at each stages, so that he may not have or she may not have a kind of repentance after going ahead, and when the person looks back there shouldn't be any regret. So how that is possible, there is a systematic way of dealing with it, understanding the situation, dealing with the counterpart, making good offers, offering good concessions, and so on and so forth. So it's a skill basically. Why I'm saying all this is, when we talk about cross cultural or intercultural discourse, we actually need a lot of negotiation. We actually need a lot of dialoguing, interaction. Mutually it should happen, and how that should be optimally used should be taught as well as learned at the school level itself. And unfortunately that is not happening. So we don't do that, and we expect all those skill oriented practices right at the higher level education, which to my mind it's too late for somebody to bring that transformational change in 2 year span of time, or 1 year span of time, or 4 year span of time. How is it possible? A person who was living with those inefficiencies, or so-called gaps in terms of personality, in terms of attitude, in terms of those skill gaps for maybe 15, 20 years, and suddenly we are expecting that boy to do some magic or something. How is it possible? Not possible. So school is the right platform, I fundamentally believe. We all have been at that place, so we understand how crucial those formative years are for us to enhance these culturally sensitive aspects of school education, as well as our adult education, as well as our career, as and overall it towards our life. So I have a lot of things to share with you. I'll be very happy to come back, maybe once the introduction is over. Thank you all.
Dr. Sivanand.
Thank you, Mr. Vimal, for setting the tone for what I wanted to say. This is Dr. Shivanand. I'm principal of DPS STS School, Dhaka, Bangladesh. I, along with my 4 colleagues from Bangladesh, are representing the country. Bangladesh is very diverse in terms of the culture and also a very populous country. As a school, I have got students from 19 countries, and though they are not a majority, but still I have to set that culture in the school where there is a good acceptance. Before I say something, since all of you are coming just after lunch, I want to ask 4 questions to move further. The answering pattern is, for first question, you have to raise the left hand if you say yes. For second question, right hand. Third question, you have to stand. Fourth question, raise both hands. I don't repeat. I don't repeat. Okay, the question 1. Is there anybody here who drives a car and doesn't, see, I did not complete, doesn't honk in the city? First question, which hand? See, left hand, right hand, so much confusion. Still, I take some hand. Okay, I see some hands, please. In the last 1 week, have you skipped a queue? When you stand, people standing in a queue and you skipped it. Knowingly, unknowingly. I see a few hands. Okay, coming to third question, you know how to respond. I've told only once. The third question is, have you forwarded any WhatsApp message or email which you received on some opinions without checking them? Once I wanted to, there's no shame in accepting truth. Have you forwarded any message or email about some opinion on people, country, religion, or anything to others without checking the fact? Have you forwarded to somebody? I did once, and I felt embarrassed when I found the truth. So nobody did it. Thank you. The fourth and the last question. Do you feel uncomfortable when you see a person with non-binary gender? It will take some time to understand. Do you feel uncomfortable? I see 2 people responding. When you see a person with non-binary gender? I see 2 people, 3. Okay, thank you for your honest response. I'll tell you why I asked this in my second response. Coming back to my school, what we do to set that cultural discourse, intercultural discourse, and bringing harmonies, we don't ask teachers to do anything. Because we teachers are from previous generation, and we have not faced such situations as the current. So we do something else where we call our alumni who have gone into multiple universities where they have got better experience of handling such situations and start talking to our current batch. One example, I have got one student in my school who is from non-binary gender. I was amazed to see the way he was accepted by his friends. Teachers do not have such acceptance levels when compared to students. That person walks a little different, talks a little different, but his friends don't have any problem, his or her friends. Whereas our teachers, when they go to that class, when they speak to that person, they're not comfortable. So if you ask a school teacher or a principal like me, who do not have enough experience or expertise or training to handle, how do you set that intercultural discourse or the harmony, we are wrong persons. Honestly, we are not the experts. So as a school, I accept that fact and I invite people who are good at it to do it to the students who know how to handle it. Because we, the students from South Asian countries, we are brought up in a certain culture. We have our own experiences, our own mindsets, opinions. The bigger problem is we take decisions on opinions, not facts, the majority. And when we talk about intercultural situation, it's about handling such opinions. Opinions of certain race, opinions about certain people of certain religion, all those stuff, it doesn't work. So we need to prepare our children to handle such things. Incidentally and unfortunately, we call ourselves 21st century people, but we are highly opinionated mankind in the history. In the history of human revolution, we are highly opinionated, and unfortunately, even the younger generation also. So our job is to create opportunities to see facts and look at what matters. And we do that often through multiple programs, which I will share later. It will definitely help when they go to universities and when they come to a different country, and they will be under less shock compared to others who don't go through such programs. That's it.
Yeah, Srinivas.
Good afternoon, President Naik, fellow panelists, and everyone present here. I'll cut to the chase straight away. My name is Sri Valsan Murugan, and I introduce myself to many people that care to listen to say that I'm a student disguised as a teacher, because learning never stops. I run a boys' school of 3,500 students from K-12. And the school is owned and operated by GEMS, Dubai, which is arguably the largest private education providers in the world. Coming to the topic here, I'll talk about a promise that I make to our parents. When I say I'm talking about the school. And since I represent the school at this point, I repeatedly talk about I, or let's say we. We tell our parents, give us a boy, and we return a man that matters. Now, this tagline was inspired by a hoarding I saw in Bangalore. And the hoarding states, 4.2 billion males. How many men? Big question. It set me thinking through my flight back to Dubai. And then we discussed this at length, and that's the time we said we need to make that difference. Alvin Toffler said long back that the joint family systems have disintegrated to nuclear families, and furthermore, we do not seem to be having substitutions for that. Families, in my opinion, are critical in developing harmony and values. Schools, which was seen as the cradle of nurturing harmony and values, have, unfortunately, it's just my personal opinion, don't please get me wrong, they have degenerated to teaching shops. We need to address that fairly quickly. I'll come to the other points later. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can understand sitting here post lunch, as our moderator told, all are very, very silent. And from the morning, we are sitting and listening speeches. So now, after lunch, everything will go above our head. Nothing goes inside. I request you to pull your antennas so that something goes inside and we can discuss. Can you identify something there on your table? Toffees are kept from the morning, and in some of the tables, it is not used at all. Can you just to take you away from the sleep? Can you take one toffee? Everyone, please. Can you take one toffee? And can you please open it? Can you see something? Yeah, toffees. Other than toffees, something else is there? Yeah, tattoo sticker is there. Yeah. Keep thinking what to do with that sticker, where to put it. By the time we will try to complete our session, so that you will be awake throughout. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Srinivasan, Principal, Indian School, Sur, Oman. Nice topic given today for discussion. And I'm in Oman for 26 years. I joined the school as teacher, became head of the department, assistant vice principal, academics, administration, vice principal academics, vice principal administration, principal in charge, and then became principal of a CBSE school. So in Oman, in general, this is not that all are Indians. Indian population, because in capitals we have, in capital Muscat, we have schools for all different nationalities. But the places which is interior, there will be one Indian school, and all the nationalities will be studying in the same school. So in that way, in my school, 12 nationalities are there. In the same class, I can see Egyptians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, Indians, Somalians, all sorts of students will be sitting in the class. So the topic given is very, very nice. Thank you, SRM, for inviting our team. This is not that inviting me, because I am not one person here. We are 7 from Oman, and inviting our team. We are happy and the hospitality, because always SRM means a special place in my heart, because I started my career with SRM in the year 1990. And over the years, more than 32 years now, SRM has grown strength to strength. And I moved in different direction, and we are crossing each other today because of this session. And the topic is interesting, I told you. And also you can see the panel members here. I am from Oman, Dr. Sri from Sharjah, Dr. Shivananda from Bangladesh, and Ma'am Manisha, she sends students to different countries, sitting in India. And Dr. Vimal is from SRM. They are, every day they are handling different nationalities. And our moderator, Mr. Koteswar Naik from IIT Bombay, IIM Bombay, he is meeting students of 28 states and 8 union territories every day. So SRM has selected panelists also accordingly to discuss this. Going to little bit to the topic, Thiruvalluvar 2000 years before, 2000 years before, not now. He has written Tirukkural 1330. All are life lessons. Each and every Tirukkural couplets, you see, we say couplets, Tirukkural. You say all are life lessons. If you just see the topic, there are few still suitable for this situation also. It was carefully written 2000 years before. For example, Arathin Ambai Tarachark Tunayillai Viratin Vitrark Vilakku. Sorry, this is in Tamil. Nowadays, Tirukkural is available in all the languages. This couplet emphasizes the importance of embracing diversity and collaborating with others, which aligns well with the idea of intercultural unity and understanding in the realm of education. By coming together and learning from diverse perspectives, individuals can collectively enrich their understandings and contribute to a more harmonious and interconnected educational environment. There is one more very close to this topic. ஒழியவாமை செய்வானை நாடி அழியாமை வெளிவைது வேண்டா பகை. This verse underscores the importance of valuing and maintaining friendly relationship with others in the context of education. Fostering intercultural unity and harmony can contribute to a more supportive and inclusive learning environment, where students from diverse backgrounds can collaborate, learn from one another, and together face challenges that come on their way. In an increasingly interconnected world, where globalization and cultural diversity are prominent features, the role of intercultural discourse and harmony in education cannot be underestimated. There are a lot of things to discuss. Since they all introduced, and I thought I will introduce and go to the topic so that we can discuss more after this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, panelists. I said you just introduce yourself, but you really venture into the topic and brought a lot of insight. So first round, we actually discussed that everyone will get only 2 minutes. Since we all are teachers, unknowingly or knowingly, we generally forgot count on time, right? So friends, I was had my engineering in Andhra University. I had seen it was in early 90s. There were few number of international students. If you go today, there are about 500 international students are having their education here. Then I moved to University of Hyderabad in early 2000, where I have seen about 100 students. But now if you see, there is a exclusive hostel is built for international students there. There is about 1,000 students are there. In 2004, I moved to IIT Delhi. I have seen students in the hostel from France and all. There were like about few numbers, about I can say about 500. But nowadays, we see they're altogether developing interdisciplinary schools for international students. But when I was wondering, like, for this workshop, this conference, schools and international connections. So it was kind of new thing for me, but once I interacted with you people in the morning, and then I was listening from the panelists. So already this is already there. Many schools, they're having international students. It may be because of the what do you say, in 90s we had globalization, liberalization, privatization. That might have opened doors because people are going across the borders for doing their jobs. So obviously when you are staying for years together, so your kids will have education there. So this is a good development when you join together from different corners. So obviously we can build a synergy here. So without taking much time, so I will ask particularly specific to the questions to my panelists, to Madam Manisha. So, can you just throw a light on benefit of including diversity in classroom? How we can bring diversity in the classroom?
Okay. So, if I ask this question to myself, whether classrooms are to be used only for the academic education, or they can also be used as the spaces where the diverse cultures meet and produce something or create something very productive together, my answer would be yes. It's not only about the academic education. It's more than to that. Can education be the key to, basically I can say, to remove the cultural boundaries? Yes, education is. I personally feel that students should not only be encouraged towards learning, understanding, and equipping themselves with the skills which are required for their academic progress or maybe the professional success in the 21st century. But they should also develop the strong moral attitude, especially the appreciation for each other, respect for each other, not only for each other, for different religions, for different cultures, for different nations, and thus making them proactive and maybe a complete globalized citizen. So that is what I feel. Education should not be just limited to academic. It's more than to that. Now, coming, whether diversity should be included in the classroom right from the beginning, again, I say yes, it should be. Because now what I feel, when the students are coming to us, maybe at the later point of the time when they want to move abroad, now they have a lot of stress in their mind, because it's not only about that they have to take the test, maybe GRE, GMAT, SAT, and definitely these tests are not that easy test, but at the same time, they are stressed about how it is going to be in a different countries. How are they going to settle over there? Will they able to manage over there or not? In fact, I have come across the incidents where I have seen my students moving to a different country and giving me a call from there that, ma'am, it's very difficult to adjust. So I believe that diversity should be included right from the school. Now, how this diversity helps us, or how diversity, this particular, including the diversity in the classroom, help our students. So they emphasize better with individuals or the human beings, and they understand each other well. Now, I will just quote an incident, what happened recently. One of my student from Korea, he was on the visit to India, and he told me his shopping experience, that he went to a shopping mall and he found that the person at the billing counter, he was tossing the things here and there. Maybe because of the long queue. And it's a normal practice in India because we have a huge population. Now, this Korean boy, he felt disrespected. He didn't like that at all. He said, it's very bad over here. People do not respect. But then, probably if he would have aware about this cultural differences, he would have not got offended because of this. Now, there was one more incident. In fact, that was an online class, and one of the student, he said and he is a student from Ireland. So he told that it's very agitating when the people in India, they burst crackers, sound crackers. Because maybe in our land, they have the rules and regulations that they can burst firecrackers only, but not the sound crackers. Now, with the incidents, what I see around, I feel probably if this education would have been imparted to these students, they could have emphasized better with the individuals, maybe around any nationality. So yes, it's very important that we should include this as the part of curriculum. Now, including in this intercultural discourse, it also helps the students to prepare better with the globalization, what is happening. Now, what I mean to say by that, now what happens over here when they are preparing themselves better, so basically they are coming together with different perspective, they are solving the problem, and that problem, when they are solving with a different perspective, each of them, they would be having a different perspective. Definitely, they are prepared better for the globalization. Now, one more thing, it's so already this is in place. That diversity is in place, but maybe it's there in the top business schools. If I talk not the top business schools also, a lot of business schools. For example, INSEAD is a classic example for this, where they stress a lot on the including diversity in their classroom. So they have the students not only from the different academic backgrounds or the different industries, but they also recruit students from all the nationalities. And this diversity, they introduce in their curriculum in the form of classroom discussions, group discussions, or maybe the extracurricular activities. Now, what happens with this? They are able to foster the cross-cultural learning, and they are able to understand each other well. So I believe, yes, definitely diversity should be the part, though it is very difficult at the school level. But yes, it should be included. Can I ask you all a question? If you give me the permission. What do you think, what can be the challenges if we are trying to include the diversity right from the classroom? What could be the different challenges? Do you really want that it should be included in the classroom? Yes? If it is yes, then what are the different challenges? Can you think?
Necessarily create. My little bit of thinking is that if diversity is there, let us learn to tolerate and appreciate it, and make the students also learn those qualities, learn those skills where they are able to tolerate and appreciate the diversity part. But we don't have to necessarily introduce diversity per se. Just because, you know, we have all Indians in one particular classroom or what, because it depends on the demographics, where we are located, what kind of students we are having and all that. So that's the only little thing that I'm, pointing out here. That's it.
Yes, sir. Definitely, I agree to your point. But the point here is, don't you think if these are students, so don't you think that we should make it somewhat compulsory in the school education?
So what you are saying is that eventually, because the students have to kind of learn to live with different set of people, learn to engage with different set of people, they need to have some amount of understanding in these
Exactly,
aspects.
right.
So that
from
I
the
completely
beginning.
agree with you. Yes, everybody needs to be aware of these things, and at the school level itself, I think the schools can start teaching the students. The world is a big place. There are going to be people of different religions, different languages, different dress styles, different food habits, and we need to be tolerant towards them, and we need to respect that. That's it.
Very true.
I think the discussion is going away. See, during coffee break or tea break, you can have more discussion. We actually we have given 1 hour time, and we are crossing the time limit. So now I request Madam
Okay, sir,
to
thank you.
conclude here. Yeah, Professor Vinay. So can you just throw some light on the strategies for cultural competition in the schools?
Thank you. Thank you. As Madam Manisha was just mentioning about some of the ways of including intercultural discourse as well as harmony in the classroom. May I please also add maybe some in practice kind of steps which probably we can ponder over and we can include it in the classroom at the school level. First and foremost, when the student comes and attends the class, the teacher is an authority. And we all agree with that. So from student's perspective, the authority is right there in front. And anything which he or she is saying or uttering is going to be questioned, maybe in the positive way or maybe in the negative way. So the fear is very much germinating in the very mind right from his entrance in the classroom till he goes out. So there is a sense of fear in terms of having open dialogues, conversation with the teacher, none other than the expert, subject expert. So this is the very early stage where submission happens. They are not ready to open up, especially with the diversity oriented issues, especially with the cultural issues, especially with the kind of background they represent and the kind of backgrounds in the classroom other students represent. There is always going to be some or the other different. So they are not able to mitigate that gap with the support of somebody who is an expert, supposed to be coming forefront. Apart from the subject knowledge which he is supposed to give, hand-holding is also expected by the students. So somewhere, because of lack of maturity by the students, because of sense of fear, as well as because of right inputs coming from the teacher, going beyond the level of authority and hand-holding, somewhere it can actually add value if these things are to be taken care. The important thing, apart from the dialoguing, very good initiative which we can start is, can we encourage in classroom to have a critical thinking based discussion? Can we have those questions which may let them think and then speak, rather than speak and then wonder what they spoke? So why not they raise questions and let's not have an answer which everybody agrees. Let's have one question and let them go back with those mild tension in their mind, figuring out what should be the right answer, or can there be a right answer for this question? So there can be n number of ways of pondering over. Can we do that tinkering as a teacher? Probably it is possible. Other thing is, which is very much essential for intercultural discourse in the classroom, is to help the students have conflict resolution skills. Because the moment there is a difference between you and me, I'm likely to be anti psychologically, may not be representing outwardly telling, but psychologically I'm slightly against. I tell you a very classic example today happened 11 hours before. In the media, you can read one of the schools in one of the states in this country, in our country. 2 days back we were in Moon, and we have also this story as well. I'm just sharing it with you. And that is, school teacher is telling his student to go and slap another student because he happens to be from another community. He comes from a different culture. This has happened 11 hours before. So what sort of country, what sort of age we are living in? We talk about technology, we talk about advancement, we talk about Chandrayaan-3, we talk about at the same time this sort of discrimination, this sort of partiality, this sort of lagging behind mindset among the teachers themselves. I'm not generalizing, pardon me, but this is also the part of the way things are being handled and tackled. Policies are good. We have great policies, NEPs. But as far as implementation is concerned, that's where we struggle. Because this person who so-called authority holder, the teacher in the classroom, has to bridge that gap by his skills, abilities, or right presence of mind, handling the student's sensitive issues. Before I know the time is too limited, a couple of things more probably we can do is, can we have self-reflection exercise among students? We call it reflexive journaling. Can we do have, we used to have in older times, we used to have diary writing. Kids used to do it on their own out of their excitement and curiosity, but not everybody. Can we make it compulsory for every students to at least reflect what they did in the last classroom since the class 1, I mean 9:30 or 8:30 when they started? What did they observe? What are those questions which they don't have answer? What are they wondering about? What sort of answers they are expecting? What sort of mild complaints do they have? Can they write and reflect? And can the teacher also be in that discussion later on, maybe once in a week, once in a month, once in fortnight? So somewhere hand holding is highly essential to let these students come out of this biased mindset, which are knowingly unknowingly getting included or inculcated in the teaching process, where we emphasize on the technical aspects, the softer aspects, milder aspects, cultural aspects, communication aspects are completely being lopsided. So it is essential that we incorporate this. And last but not the least, all these initiatives, whatever creative mind gets us to deal with all these issues in the classroom pertaining to intercourse, intercultural communication and cultural aspects, as well as harmony, can we have at the end all those initiatives taken, can we have post evaluation and feedback system? Because the moment you bring it into measurement, as the saying goes, what you cannot measure, we cannot improve. So can we have some measurement mechanism, maybe in the pre activity as well as post activity? So there can be a gap assessment of, and efforts and initiatives which we can take thereafter. So year after year, we can really see whether where we have actually moved on or we have lagged behind in terms of cultural sensitivity, cultural competence, we call it. So we are very happy. Our registrar sir is sitting here. SRM has done a lot of effort in incorporating the skill aspects as well as the cultural sensitivity aspects in terms of 21st century skills. We had a very deliberate, lot of deliberation in terms of figuring out as what should be the best skills going ahead, because all the students, BTech, MBA, all of them are somewhere or the other going abroad, studying, going to other countries, or joining multinational companies where cultural issues are many. So what sort of skills and cultural competencies do they require? So I'm very happy to share that we have incorporated some of the very essential aspects of cultural dimensions, or as well as intercommunication aspects, especially having a cultural ingredient into it. So what I feel is school education is the best time we remember. I personally lived in, one last example. I personally have experienced this. I tell you how. There are 7 states in northeastern part of this country, India, especially people representing other nations. So one of the state is Manipur. Manipur was very much in political discussion last 1 or 2 months back. At international level, even in US, the foreign secretary was talking about what's going on in India, in Manipur. We are concerned about it. I lived there for 5 years in 90s, from 1990 to 1994 or 5. Until then, my schooling, part of it happened there. So I tell you this example. When I entered my classroom first time in class 5, along with there were many students. So most of the students were localites. So localite means students from Meitei community, students from Kuki community, students from Naga community. Now these are all different tribes in northeastern areas. So it took me 6 months. 6 months to have a word with the other person sitting next to me. Not because I didn't want to. It's because I was never included in that community. I was seen as a threat, honestly. Why? Because there was a perception that people from northern country or other part of the country should not be, they are not good, basically. So there was already ingrained in the mindset of all these kids from the very young age, when they are in family and when they are in school going age, that there are certain things are good, certain things are bad, and those things which are bad, we should not even look at it. So I myself gone through that pain point. I realized, and after 6 months, 8 months, I was given that welcome into that community, into that group. And thereafter, I learned what made them keep me out of the community. I learned that they were sidelined in terms of political investments or financial investment or economic investment by the country and then government and all that. So Northeast remained aloof from economic development for many decades. So there was a bigger issue. There were many bigger issues. So it's a common issue across the country as well as across the world at all school level. Somewhere we teachers, we principals, we administrators have a lot of responsibility apart from the typical meeting the requirement of curriculum that is expected from us by the policy makers and the government. And I stop here. Thank you so much. Maybe if I'm allowed, I can come back. Thank you.
Uh, I don't think you, because you already taken off half of the time. I thought in the first round it took only 2 minutes, so this time I thought it will take another 2 minutes. That's it. It becomes very difficult for the moderator to moderate such a session because the topic is so vast, and the people who are sitting here, they can talk for hours together, and that too much of meaning in the delivery what they are doing. So thank you, Vinay, for bringing very valuable
Vimal.
insights here. Uh, Now I request, because in the first round I thought it will take only 2 minutes. We took 7 minutes. Now we will have only 1 minute.
I took 7 minutes. I don't know.
So the question to you is, uh, what do you do to accommodate diversity and prepare children for international exchange program or exchange, ecosystem?
Thank
Create
you.
such kind of thing.
I'll be mindful of the time. See, when I spoke first time, I asked 4 questions. That was typically the questions we chose when we talk to students. Because when our students go to these countries, whether it is Canada, US, UK, Australia, they tend to follow whatever we follow. See, in India, it's very common to walk on the road. In Australia, you cannot. It's a punishable offense if you walk on the road which is meant for cars. And the same time, you cannot skip. What we do is we take 3 aspects in our student groups who prepare for going to various countries. Country-wise, we group them and give situations. For example, students going to Europe especially, we talk about time. Time in the cultural context. When they set a time to submit an assignment, meeting at a particular venue, you have to respect it. You cannot delay. If you forget to submit an assignment on a given date, that costs you very dearly. And one of my colleagues was telling me that if one of their students copied another student while submitting an assignment in the 4th semester of their 4-year degree, and he was asked to leave the college. So they spend a lot of money, go there, and because of one error, they lose everything. So they consider that they can make the same mistakes or continue the same approach, whatever they do here or in their mother country, and they think that will be successful in other countries. So we talk about all these cautionary aspects, that this is non-negotiable. You have to respect time, and you should learn how to work without reminders. Nobody will come and tell you second time the same thing. That's why I said I didn't repeat my instruction about raising hands. The third thing we do is, these alumni who come back to our school from various countries, we assign them the respective country groups of students who want to go there, and they exchange their contact. They keep talking about it. In fact, when they go there, this alumni is expected to receive them, accommodate them, buddy them for some time, and help them settle. So by this, the cultural shocks are brought down, and these students become very confident. See, imagine parents who are sending their children far away from their home into a different environment, but they have a solace that the same school student is already there waiting to receive this student and helping them. So that's how we tend to bridge that cultural gap and helping them to settle in a new situation. And we start this early. In grade 10 itself, we start doing, and it has helped, and we keep refining it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking to time. Thank you very much. Dr. Srivalsan, sorry, Mr. Srivalsan, you already shared your bit of experience from the your own experience as well as from the country perspective. So, can you throw more light on the UAE as a geography, how they are cultivating the harmony in international education?
Thank you, Professor. I'm not too sure how many of you know that the latest melting pot of culture is not the United States anymore, is the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is home to more than 200 nationalities. It's a mini UN. And possibly the only country that I know of which has got a ministry for tolerance and coexistence. So the tone for tolerance and coexistence is set at the highest level. And that percolates down into the ministry, more importantly to the Ministry of Education and to all our regulators. The UAE is home to so many population in terms of diversity. 88% of the entire population are made up of expatriates. So coexistence is not an option. Is no longer an optional thing. It is obligatory. We are led by what we are called as core values in our group. GEMS has got core values. And one of the most important core values for us, which we are supposed to be following, is world citizenship. Many of us are moved to our regional identities. If you ask me where am I from, I'm from Kerala. Our children cannot have that liberty. Our children they belong to the world. So world citizenship becomes a very important criteria in developing diversities. The final submission that I need to do, I need to make here is that we talk about tolerance as a great quality. But I think we need to scale tolerance into inclusion and further scale it up into celebration of diversities. The moment schools start doing that, we know we have a better future ahead of us. I'd like all of you to read a wonderful book by Ruth Hill. It's called The Third Culture Kid. If you can lay your hands on that, I think it'll be a phenomenal read and the way forward. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Srivalsan. It is to Dr. Srinivasan. Can you just throw some lights on the merits of intercultural education and how to build such ecosystem?
Yeah, thank you so much. There is no demerits. Actually, everything merits only here. We cannot list out demerits at all in this intercultural discourse and harmony of education. And here, consider this as the classroom. Yesterday, our team members, we had a discussion. Okay, so tomorrow we have a conference to attend, right? We will identify a table, we all will sit together and then enjoy the conference. So this is what we were talking. After 2 hours, we saw a table, a document was posted in the group where the tables mentioned, these all delegates are going to sit in table number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where are we? We are all in different tables. Okay, so here in each table, we can see people from different place. A lot of learning happening. From the morning, my friend Santakumar is continuously discussing with others. So trying to understand what is happening in the other schools, other places like that. So this is itself a good example. And since we are from schools background, we get children from from age group of even 3.5 from different nationalities studying in the school. An example, class 5 student was admitted. Almost after 3 months of beginning of the session, that child could not adjust to the class at all. He will come quietly, he will not talk to anyone, and he will not write anything, and he will not understand the history, geography of CBSE syllabus because he is from Somalia actually. And father used to come and talk to me often. And we used to talk to the child, we used to talk to the parent. Finally, now after 3-4 months, we gave you a very simple question paper for him. Okay, let us promote the child. This is because class 5 only. Now the child is doing wonderful. He is participating in all the activities. He mingling with everyone in the class, making fun of everybody. So, and scoring very, very, very good marks. And in this process, what happened? Who all had challenges here? Teachers. The biggest challenge for the teacher to make the child comfort in the class. Parents, everyday parents are having worries every day. What's happening? My child is not happy in the school. Now at the end of maybe 3-4 months time, all are happy. Child is doing very well. Father is very, very happy. Teachers are very happy. This is happening. So this is because of the friends in the class. And similarly, we teach mathematics, science, social science, all. In social science in general, CBSE syllabus is all Indian history they have to learn. We have an example of an Egyptian child scoring 100 out of 100 in social science, Indian history, right? So this all because of the adjustment, what is happening within the inside the classroom. What they try to adjust and learn from each other. So that's what a positive point here. So this intercultural discourse exposes students to variety of perspectives, traditions, and worldviews, expanding their cultural awareness and sensitivity. Now, these children, in general, they will become global citizens because every day they talk to different nationalities, friends. Their friends are from different nationals or different nationals. They talk. They will become good in solving global challenges in future. They understand a different culture. That's the advantage. And in globalized job market, so the children from this atmosphere within this system, they will easily adopt themselves as well as the employers also look for such candidate to take them in their company. And cross-cultural collaboration happens. Cultural adaptability happens. Next one, language. They mutually learn different languages. Even now today, we learned, I think, 5-6 Telugu words while eating, while having lunch today from our Telugu friends. And students are exposed to multitude of culture, which helps them to appreciate each other, improves acceptance and tolerance. This all happens because of this system. Develops international understanding and begin to explore their interests and curiosity about the world around. Helps to enhance peace and critical thinking. Discrimination based on community and nationality is completely eliminated. And the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the world is one family, is inculcated. There are many more advantages. The moderator is catching me from one end. Okay, so thank you so much. There are a few more points I think he will discuss now. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. So friends, we had a very good, meaningful insights from the panel. And see, we all are gathered here to discuss about intercultural exchange. because this is high time, right? See, we are forced, we don't have any other go. If you want your kid to become a global citizen, because we have opportunities across the globe. See, once upon a time, the traveling was a problem, right? Now, morning you can get up here, can have your breakfast in Dubai, can have your lunch in Paris, can go back home to, let's say, you're going to Delhi from there. So it is within 24 hours, you can completely go around 3-4 geographies, right? So if you want to grab such kind of opportunities, obviously we have to have such kind of collaborations, intercultural exchange. You have to learn languages, you have to get habituated with the food habits and everything, right? The other side, people were talking about, don't search for right answer. There is nothing called right. Okay, someone who said, Earth is a globe. People thrown stone at him and he died, right? Someone, of course, all of us are known person, was very abnormal in the class. The teacher said you are abnormal, but who invented the light bulb, right? So we also seen a movie, Tare Zameen Par, how the abnormal kid can create wonders. So all of us have bought or born with abundance of knowledge. It is only that the teacher has to make out, it is not the marks what we see at the end of the day is the knowledge. Knowledge is completely different, right? And there are countries like small countries, Finland and all, where we have seen innovations like Volvo and all, right? So the school doesn't have such a kind of formal education what we have till 10th. I think they don't have exams. And kids were freely given whatever they like, whatever they want to cultivate. So there are countries where school kids are having patents. They are earning crores of rupees in their school ages. So you should have to think in a different perspective in case of evaluating your students. Don't scold anyone. Everyone has their own perspective, right? We generally force, like here also there are schools, they simply say you have to study only this, you have to mug up this. If you want a JEE seat, you have to go to quota. And these kids, they are getting very good ranks in IIT JEE. Once they have, they started their academic career in IIT, they were unable to cope up with the other kids because they were looking for right answers, guides, textbooks, which have answers. So you should not have to give such kind of thing. You just keep it as an open thing. It is, people have to come, we have to, create by making out of thinking box. Okay. So friends, thank you very much. I thank all my panelists. I'm sorry, just sometime I was asked to cut down the time because we are running short of time. We are already half an hour behind the schedule. And I thank everyone, thank SRM, all the delegates who are here. And last but not least, IIM Mumbai is a recent development. We were 60 years old. The SRM registrar sir is here. He was the ex-registrar of the IIM. Now IIM Mumbai. That was, earlier it was Indian Institute of Industrial Engineering, National Institute of Industrial Engineering. It is a well-known industrial engineering school, started with ILO funding in 1963. And we compete with IMC in case of MBA ranking. And our entry is through GATE and CAT. It is very tough. Student who get 99 percentile only gets for getting interviewed, for getting the admission. In case of GATE also. And of course, 100% placement since its inception. So government, when it was started in 60, national and Indian, there was no much difference. Now we have got 30 national institutions, then IITs and also they have changed the name. It is timely actually. So everyone will recognize it. And I have got a program, project management. You can check on the website. It will be going to start from 4th. It is on campus. People who want to go for PMP certification, this training program is mandatory because you need to expose to 36 hours of training program and then need to have a 7 to 8 years of project management work. Then you can write PMP certification. Yes, today there is a dearth requirement of about 2 million project management professional on the globe. This is one of the profession which is which is, emerging today. So with this, I stop it here. I will come some other time to SRM to share more thoughts. Thank you everyone.